If keto made your sleep worse, you're not imagining it. A lot of people feel wired at night, wake up at 3 a.m., or can't fall asleep even when they're tired. The surprising part is that it's often not too much fat or not enough carbs. It's usually electrolytes, especially sodium and magnesium, and when you take them. Keto lowers insulin, and that makes your kidneys dump more sodium and water. Then your body starts running on a tighter fluid and mineral budget. At night, that can feel like a racing heart, restless legs, or a brain that won't shut off. The fix is rarely complicated, but the timing matters. If you front-load sodium too late, you can feel stimulated. If you take the wrong magnesium form, you can get no benefit or even stomach issues. Let's map the real reasons and a simple timing strategy you can test. Moving to slide 2. First, the core mechanism. When you cut carbs, insulin tends to drop. Lower insulin signals your kidneys to release more sodium into urine. Water follows sodium, so you also lose fluid. That's why early keto often causes fast-scale weight loss, and why you may feel lightheaded or get headaches. But here's the sleep angle. Sodium helps regulate blood volume and nerve signaling. If you're low, your body can compensate by pushing stress hormones like adrenaline and noradrenaline higher, especially when you stand up or when blood pressure dips overnight. That alert chemistry can feel like anxiety, heart pounding, or a sudden wake-up. Some people also start drinking more water to fix it, which can dilute electrolytes further, so you end up tired but activated. Before blaming keto itself, it's worth assuming a simple problem. Your sodium and fluid balance shifted, and your nervous system is reacting. Moving to slide 3. Now let's separate two different sleep problems, because they point to different electrolyte timing. Problem 1 is trouble falling asleep. You're in bed, but your body feels restless, warm, or slightly jittery. Problem 2 is waking up in the middle of the night, often with a clear mind, sometimes with a fast heartbeat, and then you can't get back down. The first pattern can happen if you take too much sodium too close to bedtime, especially in salty broth or electrolyte drinks. Sodium can increase thirst, raise blood volume, and in some people it feels energizing. The second pattern often happens when sodium is too low overall, or when you went too long without it, so your body compensates at night. Magnesium plays into both, but in a different way. So the goal is not more electrolytes. The goal is the right electrolyte at the right time for your pattern. Moving to slide 4. Let's talk sodium timing in a practical way. Many people do best when sodium is earlier and more evenly spread, not saved for nighttime. Think of sodium like keeping your system stable, so it doesn't have to rescue you with stress hormones later. If you wake up at night, a common pattern is that sodium intake was low during the day. Then you had a big salty hit late or none at all. A steadier approach is to include salt with your first meal, then again around midday, and keep the evening dose modest. If you train, sweat, use a sauna, or drink a lot of coffee, your sodium needs can go up. Another clue is bathroom trips. If you're peeing a lot and drinking a lot but still feel dry or headachy, that can be a sodium issue, not a water issue. The key takeaway is simple. Don't let sodium become a nighttime emergency. Moving to slide 5. Magnesium is the other half of the sleep story, but it's easy to misunderstand. Magnesium supports muscle relaxation, nerve signaling, and the balance between go and calm activity in the nervous system. On keto, magnesium intake sometimes drops because you're eating fewer high-magnesium carb foods, and you may also lose more minerals in urine early on. Low magnesium can feel like twitchy muscles, tight calves, eyelid fluttering, or restless legs. Sleep can become shallow, with more wake-ups. But magnesium isn't one thing. Different forms behave differently. Some forms mainly act like a laxative, which can disrupt sleep. Others are better tolerated and more targeted for relaxation. So the goal is not to grab any magnesium bottle and hope. It's to pick a form that matches sleep support, and then time it so it helps you wind down without creating a digestive surprise at midnight. Moving to slide 6. Here's a simple guide to magnesium forms focused on sleep. Magnesium glycinate is often used for calming because glycine is an amino acid associated with relaxation for many people. Magnesium citrate is common and affordable, but it can pull water into the intestines, so it may cause loose stools. Great if constipation is your issue, not great if you're trying to stay asleep. Magnesium oxide is cheap, but it's often poorly absorbed, so it may do little besides act on digestion. Magnesium threonate is marketed for the brain, and some people like it for evening use, but it can be pricier, and the dose is usually split. No form is perfect for everyone. The practical move is to start with a well-tolerated form like glycinate, and adjust based on how your sleep and digestion respond. If your sleep improves, but your stomach doesn't, you're on the right track. Moving to slide 7. Now the timing for magnesium. For sleep support, many people do best taking magnesium about 1 to 2 hours before bed. That window gives it time to absorb and lets your body shift into a calmer state. If you take it right at lights out, you might not notice much. If you take it too early, the effect may fade by the middle of the night. Also consider splitting the dose. A smaller amount with dinner and the rest later can reduce digestive effects and keep levels steadier. If you get middle-of-the-night wake-ups, magnesium earlier in the evening can help with the settling phase. But it may not fix a 3 a.m. adrenaline spike if sodium is the real trigger. One more nuance, taking magnesium with a large fatty meal can slow stomach emptying, so if your dinner is heavy, you may want magnesium a bit later, once digestion is moving along. Moving to slide 8. Let's connect sodium and magnesium because they interact. Sodium is more about fluid balance, blood pressure stability, and nerve impulses. Magnesium is more about calming excitability in muscles and nerves. If sodium is low, your body may run hot with stress signals, and magnesium can feel like it's barely helping. If magnesium is low, you might fix sodium and still feel restless legs or muscle tension. The most common mistake is pushing both at night. A big salty drink plus magnesium right before bed can mean thirst, bathroom trips, and a stomach that's too active. A better pattern is sodium earlier and magnesium later. Think, stabilize the day with sodium, then smooth the evening with magnesium. And keep potassium in the background through food because potassium helps balance sodium, but high-dose potassium supplements can be risky for some people. Food first is the safer default for potassium. Moving to slide 9. A quick word on hydration, because it can quietly ruin keto sleep. If you drink a lot of plain water to chase thirst, you can dilute sodium further. Then you feel even thirstier, and the cycle continues. On the other hand, if you overdo salty fluids late, you may feel puffy, thirsty, and you'll wake up to pee. The sweet spot is hydration that matches electrolytes earlier in the day. One practical check is urine color and frequency. Very clear urine all day with frequent trips can mean you're overhydrating relative to sodium. Dark urine can mean you're underhydrating. You're aiming for a steady middle. Also, alcohol is a double hit. It can disrupt sleep architecture and increase fluid loss. If keto sleep is already fragile, alcohol can amplify the problem. So before you change macros, tighten the basics: water, sodium, and magnesium, with timing that protects your night. Moving to slide 10. Another reason keto can mess with sleep is the transition period. Early on, your body is switching fuel systems. Stress hormones can be a bit higher, and your brain may be more alert at night. If you're also undereating, that's a second stress signal. Low calories plus low carbs can increase cortisol in some people, and cortisol and sleep don't mix well. This is where sodium timing helps, because it reduces one major stressor. Magnesium helps because it supports relaxation, but you should also check dinner size and protein. Too little protein can leave you hungry at night. Too much very late can feel stimulating or heavy. A balanced keto dinner, not tiny and not massive, tends to work best. If you're doing intermittent fasting, consider whether your eating window ends too early, leaving you with a long stretch where blood sugar dips and stress hormones rise. Moving to slide 11. Let's build a simple troubleshooting flow you can actually use. Step 1. Identify your pattern. Is it trouble falling asleep or waking up and feeling alert? Step 2. Check sodium earlier in the day. If you have headaches, dizziness on standing, cramps, or a racing heart, sodium is a prime suspect. Step 3. Check magnesium form and timing. If you have muscle tightness, restless legs, or twitching, magnesium is a prime suspect. Step 4. Remove the obvious sleep disruptors for a week. Late caffeine, alcohol, and huge late meals. Then test one change at a time for 3 nights. Electrolytes can work fast, but your sleep system also has momentum. If you change 5 things at once, you won't know what helped. The goal is a stable baseline, then small adjustments. Treat it like debugging, not like guessing. Moving to slide 12. Here are 2 example timing templates you can adapt. Template A is for the 3 a.m. wake up. You emphasize sodium earlier, salt with your first meal, a second dose around lunch, and only a small amount at dinner. Then you take magnesium glycinate 1 to 2 hours before bed. Template B is for trouble falling asleep. You still keep sodium steady earlier, but you're extra careful with evening salt, broths, and electrolyte drinks. You focus more on magnesium timing, and you keep your pre-bed routine calm and consistent. In both templates, avoid chugging fluids late. Sip if needed, but don't turn bedtime into a hydration session. Also, if you're exercising in the evening, that can shift needs. A sweaty workout late can require electrolytes, but try to finish the bigger sodium dose earlier and keep the late dose smaller. The best plan is the one that reduces wake-ups without creating thirst. Moving to slide 13. A few safety and nuance points, because electrolytes aren't harmless for everyone. If you have high blood pressure, kidney disease, heart conditions, or you're on medications that affect fluid balance, sodium and magnesium changes can matter more. Even without those issues, more is not automatically better. Too much sodium late can mean thirst and waking to pee. Too much magnesium, especially certain forms, can mean diarrhea and dehydration, which then makes the electrolyte problem worse. Also, don't ignore potassium from food. Avocado, leafy greens, and some nuts can help balance the overall picture. Finally, if your sleep problem includes loud snoring, gasping, or extreme daytime sleepiness, that points beyond electrolytes. Keto can overlap with many sleep issues, but it doesn't cause all of them. Use electrolytes as a smart lever, not as the only explanation. Moving to slide 14. So here's the takeaway you can act on. If keto is breaking your sleep, start by assuming an electrolyte timing mismatch, not a personal failure. Spread sodium earlier in the day so your body doesn't need a midnight adrenaline boost. Choose a magnesium form that supports relaxation and take it 1 to 2 hours before bed, not at the last second. Keep late fluids modest and watch how caffeine, alcohol, fasting length, and heavy dinners affect your pattern. Then test changes one at a time for a few nights and keep what works. If you want one simple rule, it's this: stabilize your daytime, then calm your evening. If this helped, subscribe for more practical nutrition troubleshooting without the hype. And comment with your pattern. A, can't fall asleep, or B, wake up at 2 to 4 a.m. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Burn fat efficiently. Think clearly. Live steadily.